In September of 1988, I stepped onto the university's campus and walked into an English 101 course. Right away, I realized that most of the people in the classroom did not look like me. As a matter of fact, I was the only person of color in the class. Coming from my background in high school, as gifted and talented, honors in the Renaissance program, I was ready for college campuses. And so I stepped on in the classroom with all the confidence in the world, bringing with me the education that I received as a high school student. I sat in the class, the professor stood up, and he asked this question: can anyone in the room explain to me how we use the gerund in this passage? All the hands went up except mine. And at that moment, my confidence deflated. I had never heard of a gerund a day in my life. I came to college with all the preparation in the world, but yet I wasn't ready. So the question I have for you today is, are you a giver or a taker? Do the practices in your school, in your classrooms, give equitable experiences that lead to student achievement? Or do your practices take away your students' chances to compete with their counterparts across the state, the country, and the world?
So we have a picture of equity. The definition of equity in the educational system means making sure every student has the support and access they need to be successful. So as you can see in this picture, the students have an equal footing, but can they really have access to what they're looking at? Do you think that if you gave the proper support and access for each individual student for their individual needs, would they be able to have the access that they need once you give their supports specific for them? There should be systems in place that every child has an equal chance for success with equity and collective efficacy. Collective efficacy is defined by Albert Bandura, a psychologist at Stanford University, as a group's shared beliefs and its conjoint capability to organize and execute the courses of action required to produce given levels of attainment. So what does that really mean? It really means just having a shared belief and what you and your group, meaning your school, are doing for your students. Professor John Hattie utilized Rachel Eel's research as the basis for his list of factors that influence student achievement. Collective efficacy is 3 times more powerful and predictive to student achievement than socioeconomic status. Collective efficacy is more than double the effect of prior achievement, more than triple the effect of home environment and parental involvement. So let's discuss, how does collective efficacy influence educators? It influences how they feel, how they think, how they motivate themselves and behave. It's a major contributor to a school's culture. Collective efficacy has a ripple effect. So are we givers of equitable access for our students?
Givers of equitable experience for students are continuous learners that are committed to ensuring that they are exposing to students to learning opportunities that will permit them to compete in the 21st century world. Givers of equitable experiences are preparing for the future, not just to pass the test. So the question that I have for you is, are your PLCs or your professional learning communities intentional learning environments? Or are you just scheduling meetings because you're required to do so? Efficacy improves when the givers of learning are confident when they present their content to their students. Givers of equitable experiences don't make statements like, I can't do this, I don't want to do this, I've been doing it this way, or do I have to do it that way? It's all about change.
Change is hard. To change your ways really means evolution, not changing your original fabric as an individual. The teacher you were when you first started shouldn't be the teacher you were in year 5 or 10 or even when you retire. You should evolve. Evolve into someone that will provide an equitable and have a collective efficacy in your own practice and in your school to make sure that your students really successfully achieve.
So keep in mind, anytime that you're not a continuous learner, you are unintentionally not giving an equitable experience to your students. Thank you.
Thank you.